all of you. Buenas noches, konbanwa to all of you. Alright, so I'm back here again to give you another lesson. I know that you are waiting for this because it's been a week that I haven't posted a new lesson. Right, so before I go any further, I just want to thank the Almighty God. Rolly, the strongest Rolly, the typhoon Rolly, has left the Philippine area of responsibility, and I think the southern Luzon is most likely impacted by this typhoon Rolly. And let us just pray for those places that are affected by this typhoon. I think the Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, and the Bicol region are the affected places. So let us just pray for their recovery so that they can cope. So thank you. And my lesson for tonight is about the simple present tense. What is this, a simple present tense? Simple present tense indicates an action which happens in the present, but it is not necessary for actions to happen right now. Okay? So that is the simple present tense. Simple present tense expresses the habits. Alright, so what do you mean by that? So if the action is habitually done, okay, like for example, she watches TV every night. So, and the second example that I have here is he only eats fish. Look at the verb. Why there is an S or ES for this? Because my verb is a third person. So he, she, it. So those belong to the third person. So your verb should be with S or ES. Right? So this verb that has S or ES is singular in verb, while in noun that is totally opposite. When you put or add this S or ES, this is going to be plural in noun, right? So they are opposite. So but in verb, if you're going to put S or ES, that is singular because your subject is singular. Right? And for example, she watches TV every night. She only eats fish. Right? So the next example that I have here is I brush my teeth every after meal. So that is a habit. Right? So that is the simple present tense. Okay, so next is the simple present tense expresses repeated action or events. Like for example, number 1 is they drive to Balintawak every morning. Right? So every morning they go to Balintawak. Probably they are going to have the market, they're going to buy something every morning there. And next is it rains after every afternoon here. Okay, so it rains every afternoon here. So that is what? Repeated action or events. And next is we go to the church every Sunday. It means that every Sunday we go to the church. Right? So that is repeated actions or events. Okay? So that is simple present tense. And lastly, present tense expresses what? general truths. Okay, so the present tense tells the facts, right? Number one, okay, the earth revolves around the sun, and that's the truth, right? Next, we can never change that. So next is mothers give birth on the 9th month. Okay, so that is also a fact. And lastly, last example that I have here is water freezes at 0 degrees. Okay, so that is also a fact. So these are the simple present tense. These are the examples that I gave you for this, the simple present tense. Alright, so to recap this, the simple present tense that I'm discussing to you tonight is that simple present tense indicates an action which happens in the present, but it is not necessary for actions to happen right now. Okay, so that is the simple present tense. Okay, next, the simple present tense expresses the habits. Okay, like for example that I have here is I brush my teeth every after meal. Next is she watches TV every night, and he only eats fish. So those are the examples that express the habits. Next is the repeated actions or events. Number one example that I gave you, they drive to Balintawak every morning. And next, it rains every afternoon here. And lastly, that I gave you, we go to the church every Sunday. Next, what I got here is that simple present tense expresses general truth, or in other words, this is the truth or the fact that we can never change. Like for example, that earth revolves around the sun, and mothers or women give birth on the 9th month. And lastly, water freezes at 0 degrees. So those are the examples of the simple present tense. Right? So that's all for tonight. I hope that you learned something for the examples that I have given you tonight. So the simple present tense. Okay? Simple present tense expresses the habits. Next, simple present tense expresses the repeated actions or events. Next is simple present tense expresses general truths. Okay, so I have already given you the examples for those expressions. Now this simple present tense. So that's all for tonight, and I hope that you learned something. And if you learned something, if you think this is informative, educational, and beneficial to you, please subscribe to my channel. And this has been yours truly, Sir John, Sir JJ. Thank you. Saying bye now. For now.